The iPhone 11 Pro Max. Could this be the perfect vlogging camera for everyone? Let's find out. Welcome back, or hey, just welcome if you're new here. My name is Brandon Rainice. You are watching Literally Visual. Today, we're gonna hop right into why I think the iPhone 11 Pro Max might just be the perfect vlogging tool. If you're interested in just seeing a vlog that I shot solely on this phone, fast forward towards the end of the video. I only used this phone to shoot it, no other cameras, no other microphones. Everything you see came directly out of this phone. First though, let's go over some specs on why I think this is the perfect camera that every vlogger should be carrying around. First thing you'll notice, all these new cameras and stuff, it looks like something out of like the Matrix that should be attached to some alien life form. These, in fact, are the cameras that you will be using. My favorite new lens has to be that wide-angle 13mm. It captures so much of the environment. If you have it pointed remotely close to whatever it is you're trying to capture, it's going to capture it. And it's going to capture it very, very smoothly because wide angles naturally are very stable. So if you're shaky McShakerton like me, you don't really have to worry much. The wider the better as far as stability goes. This is the widest angle setting, and to give you an idea of just how stable it can be, I'm going to hand my phone to a 6-year-old. The bad part about the wide angle is that it's not gonna let in a whole lot of light for you. So unless you're outside or in a very, very well lit room, that wide angle starts to fall apart and look pretty grainy pretty quick. Probably a little snowy over here now, a little bit grainy. Still acceptable, but definitely much better with light. The other two lenses actually have built-in optical stabilization. The lenses themselves actually float in like a little fluid, so that way it takes the jitters out of all of your footage. Especially zoomed in, you want something really stable. And if that optical stabilization isn't enough for you, guess what? It's got the software type built in too. You don't have to turn anything on, it just does it. It's just stable and it works. For that reason, I love being able to use the zoom. Now, some of the bad stuff about the zoom. You'll notice that after you zoom in ×2, it starts to go into that digital zoom. And when we start going into the digital zoom, it gets a little just, in short, the further that you zoom in, the worse your picture's gonna get. The alternative is to carry around an actual camera with a big zoom. Just like past iterations of the phone, we're using this jog wheel down here to zoom in. And just keep in mind when you're doing that though, that you are actually switching between these three cameras on the back. And although Apple does a really good job of making the difference very subtle, it is there. It's not that big of a deal, especially if you do it quick. Whip it out. Last but not least, on the front of the camera, we've got the 26mm equivalent at f1.8. That f1.8 makes it the best one for low light capabilities and generally is the sharpest image of the three. Coffee break. I haven't even taken a shower yet. I look like I just rolled out of bed because I did. Another great thing about the iPhone 11 Pro Max is it gives you a ton of options when it comes to video resolutions and sizes. I typically tend to shoot in 4K based on how much storage you've got on your device or how much you want to mess around with it in post and be delayed editing on Final Cut Pro because your hard drive's not big enough. That never happens to me though. I also shoot in 4K on this camera because it offers me the ability to squeeze every ounce of quality imagery I can from that tiny little sensor. And I know that as soon as I upload it to YouTube, the algorithm's gonna squish all the life out of it anyway, so I wanna start off with as sharp of an image as I possibly can. Have you ever thought to yourself, man, I wish I could film some slow motion right now at 240 frames a second, 1080p, high efficiency mode? Good news, you can. And that image is sharp, by the way. The only bad part about that is when you get into that frame rate, the shutter speed also has to increase, and that means less light is coming into the sensor. So when you use slow motion in general, make sure you have plenty of light. Otherwise, image isn't gonna be that good. Just like past versions, it also has built-in time-lapse functionality that I use all the time. It works especially good on sunsets if you remember to lock your exposure by holding that little focal point down until the AEAF lock icon pops up right up there. If you forget to lock your exposure on a sunset, as the sun goes down and it gets darker, your camera is naturally going to want to pump up the ISO to introduce artificial light because it's trying to maintain a constant exposure. But you don't want a constant exposure. You want to capture a sun setting and getting dark with all the beautiful colors. So remember, when you do that, hold down on your focal point in the middle of the screen until it says AEAF lock. Sometimes you're just going to have low light situations and there's no avoiding it. In order to best utilize your camera in those situations, tap on your subject until you see the manual exposure bar. Drag it down to decrease the exposure, thus reducing the amount of artificial noise introduced by the camera's ISO. This is going to be key to getting better image quality in low light. There's not really a fire here in my office, it's just a new light. As we know, the microphones are pretty small, sound quality isn't that great all the time. However, you can maximize the sound quality that you get out of this phone by keeping it closer to your subjects and making sure that it's not in the wind. The second that you get the second that the wind starts blowing, you're going to get that. And stay away from noisy restaurant-like environments because it tends to pick up everything all around you. It's like what's the word? The multi-directional? It's a multi-directional microphone. So noisy environments are going to sound, well, they're going to sound noisy. Almost as noisy as a washer and dryer running in the next room. If the audio is a deal breaker for you on these phones, there are manufacturers out there like Rode who make little adaptable microphones that can just kind of mount to the side and plug right into your phone. They're great, they sound amazing, they're well worth the money, but you start getting into that little eye-catching, kind of annoying thing to carry around again. So, depends on what you're going for, I guess. Is it the best vlogging device ever made? I kind of think so. It's got great image quality, better than the last versions. It's better in low light, has less noise, zooms further, faster. It's got time lapse, 240 at 1080p. No, that's hard to find in pro level cameras. Is it worth the value? I think so. If it's something that you're going to use as a mobile device anyway, and you're just going to have with you, there should be no reason that you can't create quality content with this device. Thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. I hope that you learned something. I know I did. If you did, hit that sub and the like. Drop me a comment below. Let me know what you learned. Stick around for the vlog. It's coming up right now. What's up, guys? Going for a drive today. We're ignoring how messy my house is. We're gonna find a location that we can film a car commercial. It's not gonna be a real one, it's gonna be a fake one, but it's just to showcase my skill set and hopefully show a client that maybe will pay for me to do it in the future. Are you ready? I'm ready.
Yep.
I'm not ready, actually. First, I should probably shower and do some things, and I need some more coffee. But after that, yes. It helps if we have keys, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Should probably go get those, huh?
Or a bow.
What? Great. Stop.
Cute in here.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? This is like a mini Cabela's.
Oh.
So remember the iPhone video, the iPhone 7 Plus that I did? This is like almost the exact same thing, totally different place. I mean, I thought there would be a few cars and trailers here with snow machines, but I didn't think there would be this many. All I wanted was a spot to come out and spin some donuts. I can't find one. This is insane. I think as long as no one is coming, this area right here might be big enough to do a donut in. Wait, you have life insurance, right?
Yeah.
Kidding. was a lot of fun. We're gonna go into McCall and check out some ice sculptures, grab a bite to eat, and hopefully find a place that we can do this more often, because that was fun. Man, I'm full. What do you think that is?
A castle.
Are you the king?
Yes. And no cameras are allowed in my room.
No cameras? Get out of here. Look, the deer, they want to cross. Grab a flag. You got to get one of the flags, like this guy. Come here.
What are you waiting for? Let's go. You're so fluffy.
So this whole area is notorious for having town deer, especially during the winter. They kind of come in out of the woodwork and try and eat people's rose bushes and things like that. They're pretty friendly. This time of year up here is one of our favorites because they have ice sculptures for the winter carnival, and it draws a lot of people up to this area. But last week they had a bunch of snow and it buried almost all the sculptures. So a lot of the businesses are closed because it's a Sunday and all of our sculptures are buried. And we didn't really find a place to film a Jeep. Well, kind of. So today, it was a lot of fun. Not very successful. This is one of our favorite treats here. It's called My Father's Place. It's not literally My Father's Place. That's what it's called. And they have delicious milkshakes, fries, and hamburgers. Give me that.
It's so good.
You ready to go home?
I mean, no, I'm not going to
Yeah, I don't want to go home either. Check out this sunset.
Look over here.
Wow.
How beautiful.
Guys, that's crazy.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.